If you're watching this video, it should be because you want some help with writing your conclusion, especially a conclusion about a film, and especially a conclusion about Strictly Ballroom. Here's our whole essay if you want to remind yourself where we've come from. And here is the conclusion itself. Fran begins the film as an ugly duckling and develops into a beautiful swan. At first she lacks confidence with Scott, but as she grows to appreciate her own culture, Fran becomes comfortable in her own skin. Bronte's words resonate almost 200 years later as Luhrmann portrays Fran as a free and strong-willed young woman. So let's break it down into our 3 sentences, and remember I've given you this really good way of remembering how to write a conclusion. Firstly, we restate. We look back at our argument sentence right at the beginning of our paragraph and we think, the beginning of our introduction, and we think, what was this whole essay actually about? What have I just proved to the reader? And I have proved that she starts off as an ugly duckling, develops into a beautiful swan. You just need to restate it nice and simply. So number 1, restate. Number 2, I forgot that I had notes. This is your character, cover what the question is asking. First impression, development, change. Beginning, middle and end. Remember if we're looking at those 3 paragraphs? My bad. Okay, so firstly we restate, then we remind. So here I'm actually going to refer back to my 3 paragraphs that I talked about. At first she lacks confidence with Scott. Paragraph 1. Paragraph 2. But as she grows to appreciate her own culture. Paragraph 3. Fran becomes comfortable in her own skin. Those are your 3 paragraphs. That's it. So we remind. We restate, remind. Lastly, reword. We look back at that opening quote, and we think, how can we prove that A, we understand what the quote means, and B, we understand how it connects to this film. So, Bronte's words resonate, which means that they almost means that they echo, but that they kind of that they're relevant, that they have impact. Almost 200 years later, because she wrote it 200 years ago. As Luhrmann portrays Fran as a free and strong-willed young woman. Again with that authorial intent. It's not just Luhrmann who has authorial intent, Bronte also had authorial intent. And I'm proving that I understand how my opening quote connects to the novel. So Fran is basically, she would be a character who would agree with that quote, that she's not a caged bird and that she's not going to be ensnared by people. So we can see that she starts off that way, but then she breaks free of those shackles, if you like, and develops into a confident, strong-willed young woman. So in our 3 sentences, we'll go back, we restate, remind, reword, and that will give you a clean, short conclusion that has a punchy ending. If you finish and you refer back to that opening quote, you come full circle and you show that, hey, you knew where you were heading the whole time. You started off and you'd already drawn your map and you knew exactly where you were going to finish up, and you're finishing up where you began, which shows purpose in your writing and control, which is a very good thing to show. And that is how you write a fantastic conclusion.